guys, Krissy with the Windswept Cowboy here. You know, last week I showed you how to sand your piece. This week I'm going to give you tips and tricks on how to stain your piece. So stay tuned. So what is staining? Staining is actually just adding color to your piece of wood and also enhancing the grain. It can be used to mimic more expensive wood, like champagne taste on a beer budget. My example for that is you can only afford pine, but you really wanted walnut. So you're going to buy walnut stain and you're going to stain that pine walnut. So a few of the types of stain that you can purchase, there are oil-based, water-based, gel stain, and also some of your homemade stains like your vinegar and still wool and your coffee and tea stains. So your oil-based stains you're going to want to use where you need more durability, like outside, your tabletops, counters, cabinets, those type of things. Anywhere you need extra durability. Your water-based stains, you can use those anywhere that you really want to look at something instead of actually use it and need that durability. It's not quite as smelly as the oil-based, and you can dispose of the things a little bit easier and clean your brushes a little bit easier. So you just have to weigh the option on, do you want the durability or do you want the ease of use? There's also the gel stains, which I love the gel stains. I have used gel on several projects in my home, and I think the most favorite part of the gel stain is you can use it on wood and non-wood surfaces. I have a metal front door and it has like the wood grain embossed into it. So I use the gel stain on it and it looks just like wood, and it adds that warmth that you're after. Also with the gel, if you have like that old orange oak from the 80s that you are just dying to get rid of, like on your stair banisters, things like that, you can actually use the gel stain and go right over it. If you caught our rustic sconce video, you know that I use the vinegar and still wool option on that. So you can go and check that out and see how I did that. You can also brew tea or coffee and wipe that onto your piece, and it looks fantastic. Just depends on the look that you're after. Now that you've picked out the stain that you're wanting to use, whether it be oil-based, water-based, the gel, whatever, you may want to consider a wood conditioner. The wood conditioner conditions the wood just like it says. I recommend using the conditioner on the pine, the birch, and the cherry. There are a few others, but those are some of the popular ones. If you don't use the conditioner, your stain will turn out blotchy. So you'll definitely want to read the manufacturer instructions on the back of your can, and that will tell you drying times and applications. Sometimes if you let that wood conditioner dry too much, it won't absorb your stain. So check the manufacturer instructions. Some of the tools that I like to use to apply my stain, I like to use brushes, whether that be the foam brush, the bristle brush, those type of things. Check on the package of the brush that you buy and it'll tell you what kind of stain it's good for. Like the oil-based and the water-based require two different kinds of brushes. So definitely check out your packaging for that. You can use a rag or a sock. Socks work great. You can just put them on your hand and just start wiping the stain off. They work fantastic. You can also use those paint pads. You can roll it on, or you can even use a paint sprayer. I know you're going to hear me say this a lot, but it is so important to definitely follow the manufacturer instructions on the can, because there are a lot of manufacturers out there and the instructions can be different from brand to brand. So you're definitely going to want to read that and make sure that you're following the drying times and the application process. Alright, now it's time to apply the stain. Finally, right? You have all the information you need to do this. You will definitely want to go with the grain, just like in sanding, because that is the way the wood is going to soak it up so pretty. So rule of thumb, the best finish would be to go with the grain. So once you apply it, it's going to be a little thicker. You're going to let that sit for however long your can says to let it sit, and then always be sure to wipe it off. If you leave it on, it will become very sticky and it will not cure properly. Another word of advice is to always use proper safety. You will definitely want a face mask and some gloves to protect yourself, because it is staining the wood and it will stain your hands and your fingernails, and it's no fun to try to get off. You're going to want to use proper ventilation too. That oil-based stain can be very smelly. The way that I always apply my stains is I usually use a chip brush or some sort of bristled brush, and I apply my stain on, and then when it's time to wipe it off, I use a nice clean rag. Another tip is, if you are using a brush, especially if it's brand new, you're going to want to fan the brush and get any of those extra bristles out, because it is no fun picking those bristles out of your stain. Also, you're going to want to test your stain on like the same species but on a piece of scrap wood. That way you know how the stain is going to look on your project. Or if it's, let's say, a bench or someplace that has a hidden area, you can start staining in that area to see how it's going to look. And be sure to stir that stain can thoroughly, because a lot of the pigment just falls down to the bottom, and you really want to have a nice even coat. So I hope that takes the mystery out of staining for you. What's something that you would like to stain? Comment below, let me know. You guys go and have a great day, and happy crafting!